to start to try and address these really challenging issues, because we get it wrong, or if we don't do it, we could sleepwalk into some dystopian nightmare, which we all see in the films. So we really don't want to do that.
Thank you.
Shall I stand up?
Please, yeah.
Hello, my name is Christina Blacklaws. I have my own consultancy company in blockchain technology and point in London. And I'm also the global ambassador of Public, which is a media distributed company. This is who I am. I would like to participate in the debate. Christina, you said some extremely interesting thing. What you said about hashtag, I've been working in the past year about stamp dating some documents. I can't talk about it because I'm on the secrecy agreement for a client, but I would say that there's a lot of potential there. What I would like to talk about first is uncharted territory, new grounds to be covered. And there are some new concepts around. We've talked about smart contracts between human beings. We haven't talked of smart contracts between a human being and a machine. I'm saying machine and not robot, and the reason for this is very precise. I would like to ask you a very odd question. In English law, is there a possibility for a machine to be a moral person?
Well, yes,
Oh,
there is
right.
a possibility
I'm
of that.
fascinated. I'll tell you why just after. I'm just asking first.
And it is, because it's not just about machines contracting with human beings, but it's also about machines contracting with machines. And the issue of personhood is something which is an interesting challenge. But we have jurisdictions across the world where things that we would not consider humans have personhood. So in New Zealand, some rivers have personhood. But I think what you're talking about is much more about should machines be attributed personhood, and certainly the House of Lords felt that as an artifice, in effect, to support the ability of one company to be able to sue another, then yes, it was probably right to do that. So I think it's something that we will continue to look at. It's certainly a possibility.
Well, the reason I'm asking this is because I traveled to Germany recently. I participated in the Drupal, community event there, and I bumped into a mind-bending concept, really, I would say. Before I actually mention it, I would say, if you go out of Moscow and you want a car, you just can use a Russian application called Belka, and with this application, you can get a Mercedes within 10 minutes walking distance, which you can take. The car recognizes your app, opens the door, you can drive it and drop it anywhere you want. It is for $10. That's one thing. This website is only in Russian. There's no English equivalent. Now, what I've heard in Drupal from a CEO called Ingo Rubik is apparently in Swiss law there is such loop where a machine can be a moral person. And then we get into the idea that the machine could be made by car manufacturers, dropped into the street, and then with some smart contract, repay its own lease as a moral person, and then after that ask for servicing. And then, so we're one step away from robots. Can a robot do the same thing? Can a robot be a moral person? What are the ethical, barriers and questions? And the idea that a machine could be abandoned to its own destiny and have to deal with its own future and servicing as a moral person, I find quite an interesting, challenging question.
I was just going to make a quick joke. So my chief legal officer was once presented a question like that, and he put a thought on our secretary and said, well, my first question is, does this machine have any assets?
But it could repay its own lease. That's what's interesting.
Of course, we do already have concepts like corporate manslaughter and corporate homicide. So it isn't inconceivable that we could move towards that. I'm sure Charles has something to say.
Yeah, I think the conventional objection
to it is that commercial parties may establish these decentralised autonomous corporations and stuff the liabilities into them and step away. But that would be relatively easy to regulate away. So yeah, I like Christina, I see the possibility in the European Commission.
Thank you. Conscious of time.
Yeah,
Last question.
I'm